Everybody, Rose Matter here, and welcome back to my Bocchi the Rock React series. Today, I'm going to be watching episode 6. In the last episode, it was kind of the highest stakes situation so far for the band, as Nijika's sister, who runs the club, has told them that she doesn't think that they're ready yet to perform on stage, given their lackluster performance the first time that Hitori performed with them. So she has given them the opportunity to play once, like they have their audition. They have to nail it. She has to be impressed with what she sees, or she's not going to be like putting them on the schedule, not going to be allowing them to play. So obviously, it's kind of a big deal, and it was nice to see the four of them actually as a band working together. And they were kind of playing around with like their aesthetic, like who they are as a band. They're still trying to figure this out. And through a lot of practice and hard work, they managed to pull it off. The big thing being, of course, Hitori. She felt really guilty after how bad she played last time. She kind of just like let her anxiety take over. And she didn't want to fail just herself, but she didn't want to fail her bandmates, her friends. And she actually like completely nailed it. It was so cool to just see her like just reach down and just pull off a great performance. So all is well and good, except now they're back to the whole thing about their quota. They have to sell a certain number of tickets. There was a minimum, I believe it was like a 5 ticket minimum per person, per bandmate. And then she realized she doesn't really know anybody other than her family and her bandmates. So that is where we left off. It was a really sweet episode. It was nice to see them like actually performing together, and it was really good actually. So now we're going to continue on, see if it's still smooth sailing or if they're going to be hitting any other obstacles. I imagine they probably will, and just like see how they overcome them. So anyway, let's go ahead, let's watch this episode, and I will give you guys my thoughts afterwards. I like how they're doing a recap after 5 episodes. For a show that's not very hard to follow. I love it. She's like the final boss, miniatures authority. There's a really sweet moment I forgot to mention at the end where the sister was like, "Oh, I want to try and encourage Hitori, see that I see her talent." And then she said like, "I see you," and Hitori's like, "What does that mean?" Her anxiety, or that, right? There have been other characters that are in the opening that we haven't seen yet, so I'm assuming that they're going to pop up at some point. And it's also the fact you can't invite the dog, and your little sister is probably too little. Jimmy Hens the dog, right? Yeah. Exactly, yes. And the parents are like, also, we don't really want to go. Damn, this is certainly a different art style. It's really cool. It's just like it feels like it's 5 different shows in one with all the different art styles. Oh, damn, this sister just spouting just straight facts. Oh gosh. No, she's like, I don't want your charity. That would require talking to people. It's so sad. She's gotten so far, but she still has a lot more to go. Looks like lots of my friends are coming. She's like, ah. And there she is, once again, going through worst case scenario, just assuming the worst will happen, even though they've been nothing but nice to her. Oh, okay. Potential new. Oh, is she the girl? I think she might be one of the ones that's in like the opening. It's funny, every time she has a problem, it's like the universe hands her, like, hey, you need another person? Here's a person. Oh, that's right, yeah, because she was drinking, right? She was drinking in the opening. Well, here, I talk about like the opening. We get to see it here. I think she's the last one. I think everybody else has been introduced. There's the girl with the black hair who I assume is just another employee at the club who barely talks, but she seems nice enough. It'd be funny if this song that's in the like opening is what she ends up singing at the ends. Like that's the final song. There she is. Okay. I really gotta pay better attention to these. Like I knew there was a girl in here, and I remembered I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure like there's a shot of her drinking. So obviously she's got some problems. Oh, and then there's them too, and there's her. Okay. So like we're halfway through after this, so I'm like they could introduce a couple more characters. And she's like, hey, you could pay me back by coming to my show. And of course, that would involve asking her some for a favor. Gosh, okay. For me personally, like drunk people make me very uncomfortable. So I feel for Hitori, just like, oh man, I don't even know what to make of the situation. Especially as a high schooler. And then she's got the little fangs, so you know, like, ooh, you're a little troublemaker. And Hitori's like, and this is me calling her weird. No, okay, and all right, what a coincidence. See, this is the party one she was talking about. Like when she's talking about like bands should party. Well, they seem to party. Oh, I know. Like you have somebody who's in a band who might want to see your band. No. Oh no. It's so sad to see her as like self-sabotage. Hitori, no. She's like, I'm actually really good. Do they actually sell booze in like little juice packs like that? Maybe she needs a little bit more of a free spirit in her life to teach her to kind of loosen up, but not to that degree. See, there's Satori assuming like they're thinking the worst of her, but instead they're thinking the best of her and they're thinking about her. Like they're just such sweet girls. They're so considerate. Okay, so those are the girls. Those are the other girls that are in the opening. Oh no, Hitori. No, Hitori, don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. That's a bad coping mechanism. Did she say kids try this at home? Like, no, 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 no. Probably just get even more quiet and like drawn into herself. I feel like she would be like a self-loathing drunk. She's like, so long ago looks exactly the same. She's like, I'm not gonna buy any though. Oh, Okay. What are you what are you doing? No, she's only comfortable in like dark places, right? Like this is wide open with lots of people around. Meanwhile, she's like, I just do whatever, whenever, no fucks given. Oh, I love how her phone's like cracked. I love that little attention to detail. I mean, it's pretty cool, this girl, to be like, hey, you did me a favor. I'm going to do all this for you and help you out. Or find a box. I feel like yeah, her biggest enemy is herself. Yeah, she assumes like everybody's. She mean like she thinks everybody's out to get her. Like they're so thoughtful. Like they care so much about her, and like they haven't been together very long. And they're thinking like, how do we get to know her best? And like, look at they're just such good friends. All they see is like a drunk girl and a terrified girl. Oh no, Bocchi. Oh, there we go. See, she's her biggest enemy. Like she's talking about enemies. Like she assumes everybody thinks the worst of her. Oh, oh, I wonder if they're gonna get upset that she's just playing with another person and like ducked out on them. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Think yes. It's the mental block. That's the hardest thing. Nice to see her in her element. She's like the drunken master. She's like, I'll be your drunken teacher. Right? She's like, I'll get to see them smile instead of just being behind a computer. And like, you get nice comments, but to see it in person is probably so much different. Those bangs are good for something. Two, that's four. She needs one more. Now, if we could just get this girl. Has she said her name? Oh no. Did she like forget all about the practice? Yeah. Oh no, I thought she was gonna be like, oh no, I totally blew them off. I knew it. Like everybody that she's run into so far has just been so nice to her. And maybe she's like, if I'd opened up to people sooner, maybe this would have happened more and I'd have more friends. At first, I was thinking like the other girls in the opening were from that girl's band, but I'm like, it must be those two because they seem like they might be important characters later. Oh no. She's so proud, and they're just like kind of pitying her, but it's coming from a good place. Aw, man, that episode felt like it went even faster than usual. But there we go. Okay, new character introduced. But once again, I can't remember if she ever gave her name. I feel bad if I wasn't paying attention. All right, another episode of Hitori getting over some of her obstacles. The big one was the realization that the world and people are not her enemies, and they can actually be quite nice. And I just, yeah, I really liked the introduction of this new character whose name may or may not have been. I really should be paying better attention. If her name, maybe I'll look it up and see what her name is. But yeah, it's just like at first I didn't know what to think of her. I was like, oh, wait a minute. She's in the opening, so she's probably going to be a pretty important character. And despite the fact that she is a bit of a mess, she did have some words of wisdom for Hitori and was actually like a very nice, supportive person. And of course, it just happened to be that the person that she runs into when she's like looking to sell tickets also happens to be in a band and wants to help her out. So I just love like it's very serendipitous. It felt like Hitori, after having such problems for most of her life, everything kind of falling into place. But she also is making the effort. It's not like everything is just being given to her. Yes, she did just manage to get roped into a band when she wanted to be in a band without much effort. But she has to put in the effort to get better and be more just open. And like her getting over her fear of playing outside, even if it just meant closing one eye, you do what you got to do. You have your coping mechanisms. And then those two nice girls who maybe they're going to be important characters as well. It was just nice to see that like everybody has been like so nice to her, but it was just sad that she still has that kind of mental block and assuming that everybody like is talking shit about her, assumes the worst of her. Whenever like she does something, she thinks people think that she's a bad person. And God, I know how that is. Like I don't have it as bad as she does, but it does happen sometimes still. Like even now, it's really bad in high school. But like this is why I feel like I love Hitori so much is because like not just because she's a sympathetic character, but because like I understand to some degree like how she feels. So it's just nice that she's just got like good people that are looking after her and encouraging her and helping her out. And yeah, it was just like being able to sell those tickets and get over playing outside in front of people and having that moment of like seeing people smile. And I think that's probably why a lot of people want to play in bands is like, yeah, I'm sure that there's people that want to get famous and be rich and all that stuff. But I think it's, just wanting to connect with like your audience and wanting to see them smile. And she got to experience that. And I thought that was really sweet. So I imagine this girl will be a reoccurring character. And I'm curious, since she is in a band, maybe if the other members of Kisoku band have heard of her before, because she does say that she knows that band and she's in the area. So maybe she'll end up playing at that band or at the club with her band too, and maybe like the two bands will like be besties. I just want like everybody to be friends. It's just really sweet. But that was a really nice episode. It's just like nice and reassuring to see just strangers be like helping her out and her like growing as a result of that. So yeah, really like that. I really like this character. I'm also curious what she is running away from. She does say that she like drinks to drown out the negative thoughts, and she's talked about some of them, but I feel like there's more to it. And maybe we'll get to know more about this character and like what her whole deal is. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction and discussion for episode 6, and stay tuned next time for episode 7. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Emily Hornsby, Lady of Eternity, Jared Fan, Revealing Storm, Asborn Kennedy, Icognito, Harry Gazif, Cardboard, and Shadow Dragon.